I believe in that any sort of build, or if not every build, someone always cheaps out or has some sort of budget component in their PC to make their lives a little bit easier. And if you haven't figured out by the title down below, I purchased something very interesting that's going to make my build look a lot better for just £30. So, are you ready? Let's roll the intro. Hey, what's up you lovely people? Welcome back to another video, and if you are new, thank you very much for finding my channel. That means a hell of a lot to me. And if you do enjoy the content that you're watching right now, or even other content, then maybe consider subscribing and turning those notification bells on. It gets the channel going. So, a lot of you might have figured it out already, and if you have figured out what a purchase, then well done. I'll give you a nice little golf clap to that, a little. But to anyone else that is wondering what I've got, I managed to get myself some cable mods, and not just any sort of cable mods, but yeah, like I wanted something, a little backstory to it. I really wanted something that was quite a decent quality, similar to like cable mods itself, but at a really heavily budgeted price. And the company I actually went with, which I'll get right now, is a company called Link Up. The reason why I went with Link Up was because I wanted a purple and black color combination, and because my PC case is white, I really wanted something to go along with the white aesthetics and the exterior of the case. So I thought, you know, purple and black. Black is to go with, like, you know, the Mobo and all the other little bits and bobs, and purple, I thought purple and white is a very nice color combination. With this company, it's quite interesting. It obviously gives you all the cables. It gives you obviously a 124 pin power connector for your motherboard, and it's obviously divided into a 20+4 pin configuration. What I find is quite interesting is that they actually give you two 8-pin CPU power connectors and a 4+4 power configuration, or 4+4 pin configuration, however you want to say it. And lastly, they give you two 8-pin GPU PCIe connectors, which is also divided into 6+2 power configuration, or pin configuration, however you want to say it as well. The length of it is 30 centimeters, which is quite lengthy in my opinion. Obviously, I think that's the average. I think all of them are lengthed in 30 centimeters, and yeah. So how the video is going to go, I've got the GPU power connectors already set up so I can show off the aesthetics and what the build is going to look like, and then we're going to go for a step-by-step how to put them together, how to safely do it, and a little bit of cable management. And then lastly, I'm going to be doing some b-roll, do a little montage for you lot, and then doing my conclusion. And FYI, before we go into the next transition, obviously I'm not going to be using my mic because I can't mount it on the other side of my desk for some weird reason. So I'm going to be using the audio from my mobile phone, which everyone found to be pretty interesting. Obviously, I used it for my PC build guide that you lot can go and look up right here. So with enough said, let's transition on to the PC. Hey, what's happening? You join me over onto the computer where I've got my connectors already in place just for the GPU, nothing else, because I just want to show you what it's going to look like before we actually go through it together. And the cool thing about this is that it comes with cable combs already attached to the cable, so you don't need to do them yourself. You don't need to do the extra little fiddly bits where it comes over and plug them in. It's already sorted for you, and then obviously you can adjust the lengths here. You can obviously obviously we're going to go through how the cables look and what they look like coming from the packet, because obviously I haven't gone through all of them, but I've only gone through the GPU connectors. Obviously got it plugged in straight away, and from the get-go it is really nice. It is very organized, especially with the cable combs already put into place, so you don't have to do the DIY yourself. I know for some people it can be a bit of an annoyance because obviously people want to do it themselves, and obviously they don't want to go through the easy life, and I get that because I'm a little bit like that as well, because I'm quite a practical person. But if you can see it, they're in a bit of a they're like, I don't know, they're like see-through. I don't know why they've done that. Ignore my ugly fingers, but I don't know why they've done that. To be fair, it doesn't bother me. It looks nice. It looks okay on the PC right there. And obviously you can split them apart, and then they look quite fancy like that. So if your motherboard is unfortunately only got a 4-pin power connector, then your life is a little bit easier, because all you have to do is take one off, peel it away, hide it behind the case, and then it looks absolutely bang on. Right, okay, so the next thing is I've taken the front off, and I've just unscrewed the back panel, so I've got to take that off now. First thing first, you want to make sure your hands are dry, because obviously you're going to be touching with connectors, so you don't want sweaty palms, you don't want any sort of residue, any sort of moisture getting into the connectors, because that will obviously damage your PSU and obviously cause some major problems there. So how we want to do it and how we want to go about it, obviously make sure our palms are dry. If you have to go and like wipe them with a towel or anything, or even just wipe them on your shorts, then make sure you do that, or even just grab something cold. It may sound really stupid, but make sure your hands are a bit dry, because you don't want any moisture getting into connectors, because they are open. There's no sort of cover to stop any moisture from getting in, so that's quite important. Today I'm working with the Thermaltake S100TG, which is a beautiful case, and if you haven't seen it, then it's obviously back in my PC build guide, and I explain how nice it is to work with. Thing about this, there you go. It's quite a stubborn cable, sorry for the facials, but it's quite a stubborn cable, but I finally got it out and sorted it out from the back, plug in my extender, sort out the cable management, and then put everything back together. And one end is blatantly for the cable that goes straight into the PSU, and then I don't know if you can see it, I'll do it again, but like you probably did see it, but you see how the cable, that's just for PSU part, and then obviously this part is actually for your motherboard. So you really want to look out for those. It's the exact same on every single connector that you get with this specific company. It's probably the same with every single one. There you go. This one's quite an easy fit. It's actually quite surprisingly easy. I thought it would be a little bit harder, but from the edge, I'll do a little zoom in on the edit. You can see how everything's nice and secure. It's nice and snug. Nothing's going to catch or nothing's going to come out of it. And what you want to do is kind of like push your main PSU connector and kind of hide it somewhere if you have any space. I usually put it under the shroud and put it around in the midsection, because that's furthest away from the PSU, and it's also a nice safe. It's also in a nice safe spot, so it's not anywhere near the fans or anywhere near my SSDs or any sort of storage. There you go. And from here, it actually looks very nice. I know the inside 24-pin power connector, I'll explain that in a minute, it's going to travel a shorter distance than the top one. So the top one looks a bit neater than the bottom one, because the bottom one's quite tight and bunched up, and the top one's a little bit neater from this angle. Everything should be okay. Should be able to keep everything as normal, put everything back in its place, have it flat there. But anyway, I think I've got that done, and then let's actually move on to the CPU power connector. When it was coming to connecting my GPU connectors, spot on, no problem. Maybe it was just the way I'm doing it, I'm just being absolutely stupid, but finally I actually managed to get all the connectors in, and it looks somewhat neat. I might have to do a little bit of extra work and try and get things looking neat, but I might not be able to get that with this. Right, so there's so many different ways you can cable manage your external connectors or external cables and have it really neat, but I will say that for a future video. But for now, what I'm going to do as my main method to go is the sandwich method, where I take the back plate, squish it onto the back, and then screw it in. Bob's your uncle, you don't have to look at it ever again, which is what I'm going to do right now. So okay. Woo-wee. It looks ugly down here. Right, so now everything is back in place. I'm going to switch it on, see if it works. Hopefully it works. So front row seats, all live. You don't get to see if it works. Nice! We've got ourselves a running computer. Hold on, wait a minute, hold on a minute. I don't want to say anything too soon, just in case. Okay, we've got ourselves a post, fellas. Everything's in place, everything's looking sexy. I think what we can do now is do some B-roll. I couldn't get the cables any more organised and neat as they were now, so with enough said, let's jump straight into the B-roll. Hey, how's it going? I hope you lot enjoyed the little B-roll I just did for you there, and I hope this video actually helped you and makes you understand what to look for and how to put the connectors in safely. I really wanted this to be towards people that are on a budget and for people who really want to look to up their case, make it look aesthetically pleasing to the eye, that are on a budget. If it did help you any sort of way, drop a comment down below and let me know. That would mean a lot to me. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it, and if you are new, it would mean a lot to me if you can subscribe, turn those notification bells on, because that's what gets the channel going. So to conclude this video, thank you very much for watching, thank you for coming along, and I will see you for Amnesia Rebirth Part 3 on Friday's episode. Take care, stay safe, and peace.